So today I'll be starting my book called David From Anointed to Fugitive. And this covers 1 Samuel 16 through 20. And it also covers Psalm 59 because, as you know, David wrote a lot of the Psalms. And many of the Psalms we can place in his life. And in this particular section, we have the Psalm 59 that was also written during that time. So looking at the table of contents, if I can get to it. Uh, we will be doing chapter 1. But first, let's look at just a quick map of the geographical map of 1 Samuel 16 through 20. So basically, we're working just in this area. We've heard of Gibeah, and that's where Saul has. Ramah is where Samuel's home is. And of course, Bethlehem is where David was born. We know that. And that's where his family is. Jerusalem is still considered the capital, although I don't. Yeah. And then some of these other places we may hear about this during this time. So, first chapter, David is anointed king. And this follows my second book on the book of Saul. And so this is the very next chapter, 1 Samuel 16, 1 through 13. Now the Lord said to Samuel, how long will you mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him from reigning over Israel? Fill your horn with oil and go. I'm sending you to Jesse the Bethlehemite, for I have provided myself a king among his sons. Why did God reject Saul as king? Because he wouldn't obey him. And Achan started to think of himself as the reason why Israel had won the actions instead of God. Was Saul happy or upset that God had rejected Saul as king? He was happy that God rejected him as king, but was mourning also for Saul as well. God is sending Samuel to whom? Jesse, the Bethlehemite. If we remove the last three letters of Bethlehemite, you will have the city that Jesse lives. What city is that? Bethlehem. What will Samuel find among the sons of Jesse, the new king? And Samuel said, how can I go? If Saul hears it, he will kill me. But the Lord said, take a heifer with you and say, I have come to sacrifice to the Lord. Then invite Jesse to the sacrifice, and I will show you what you should do. You shall anoint for me the one I named to you. If Saul hears that Samuel is going to anoint another, what is Samuel afraid of? That Saul will have him killed. How does the Lord solve this problem? He says, bring a heifer with you, and you're going to Bethlehem to do a sacrifice. Who is Saul to invite to the sacrifice? Jesse. Does Samuel know which son of Jesse will be anointed? No. In this situation, the Lord doesn't give Samuel all the information, but expects Samuel to obey him obediently. Does God do this to us sometimes? Does he expect us to obey him, even if we don't have all the information? Indeed. And we are supposed to obey him and have faith that he knows what he's doing. So Samuel did what the Lord said and went to Bethlehem. And the elders of the town trembled at his coming and said, do you come peaceably? And he said, peaceably. I've come to sacrifice to the Lord. Sanctify yourself and come with me to the sacrifice. So now let's find Ramah and circle it. Okay, Ramah should be right here. Okay. And Sheffield, no. Find Bethlehem. Make a line from Ramah to Bethlehem. Okay, a line from Ramah to Bethlehem. Okay, not far. They're about 12 miles apart. The elders of the town were concerned about Samuel's arrival. What did they say to them? Have you come peaceably? Remember, the last time people saw him, he had killed the king. Samuel was a well-known prophet. Bethlehem was a small, insignificant town, which normally did not see the presence of Samuel. Where Samuel goes, anywhere, there is usually a reason. Was it bad? Was it good? The elders wanted to know. What was Samuel's response to the elders? It's peaceably, I have come to sacrifice to the Lord. Sanctify is preparing oneself to come before the Lord. Then he consecrated Jesse and his sons and invited them to the sacrifice. So it was when they came that he looked at Eliab and said, "Surely the Lord's anointed is before him." But the Lord said to Samuel, "Do not look at his appearance or at his physical stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord does not see as man sees, for the man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." And the definition of consecrated is set apart for a religious ceremony. What did Samuel invite Jesse and his sons to? To a sacrifice. Who is Jesse's oldest son? Eliab. Does Samuel think? What does Samuel think about the oldest son? Um, that he appeared like he would be a great king. Is the oldest son the one God wants to anoint as king? No. What do we know about Eliab's outward appearance? He has a good physical stature and looks good. For the Lord does not see as man sees, for the man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. So Jesse called Abinadab and made him pass before Samuel. And he said, "Neither has the Lord chosen this one." Then Jesse made Shammah pass by, and he said, "Neither has the Lord chosen this one." Thus Jesse made 7 of his sons pass before Samuel. And Samuel said to Jesse, "The Lord has not chosen these." Who is Jesse's second oldest son? Abinadab. Who is Jesse's third oldest son? Shema. How many sons did Jesse pass through before Samuel? 7. Did God choose any of these sons? No. What do you think Samuel is thinking at this point? What did I get wrong? What did I get wrong? What is the thoughts here? And Samuel said to Jesse, "Are all the young men here?" Then he said, "There remains yet the youngest, and there he is, keeping the sheep." And Samuel said to Jesse, "Send and bring him, for we will not sit down until he comes here." So he was sent and brought him in. What was Samuel's question to Jesse? Are all the young men here? Are all your sons here? Who is the youngest son? What is the youngest son doing? He's tending sheep. How many sons are there in total? 8. Samuel says they will not sit down to eat until that youngest son comes. So what does Jesse do then? And bring the younger son in. And he was ruddy with bright eyes and good looking. And the Lord said, "Arise, anoint him, for this is the one." Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brothers, and the Spirit of the Lord came upon David for that day forward. So Samuel rose and went to Ramah. Give the physical description of David. He's ruddy with bright eyes and good looking. Ruddy probably means sunburned a bit because he's out tending sheep. Which of Jesse's sons did God pick to be anointed as the future king? David. Does Samuel have an audience when he anoints David? Yes, all the brothers. What came upon David from that day forward? The Spirit of the Lord. After Samuel anointed David, where did Samuel go? He went back to Ramah. What do you think David's older brothers are thinking? What the heck is going on here? What do you think David is thinking? David's about 10 to 13 years of age at this time. I don't know what's going on here. This is strange. So now we come to the end of the chapter. Who is David's father? One across. That's Jesse. Number 4, Samuel told the elders of Bethlehem he came to sacrifice to the Lord. 6, who is Jesse's third oldest son? That would be Shammah. What town did David live in? Bethlehem. Who is Jesse's oldest son? I forgot the name of Jesse's older son. Well, I'll have to go look. It's not Abinadab. It's not Shammah. It is Eliab. Eliab. Sorry about that. How many brothers did David have? 7. Who is Jesse's second oldest son? Abinadab. And so that's the end of this chapter. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.